Yo, Sean, what is it?
I said astigmatism in my soul.
Yo, ladies and gentlemen, I keep telling y'all, man, I got the dopest channel on YouTube. This channel keeps getting better and better. Shout out to Chuck Chill Out. The man in front of me needs no introduction.
Whoa.
Somebody that I remember back in 83, 84, 85, going down to Passaic, get me some Maxell cassette tapes, TDK, Memorex, and sitting by the box at 8:50 p.m. waiting for that siren to come on.
Whoa.
98.7 Kiss, none other than Kool DJ Red Alert. Yo, Red, what's up, baby?
You tell me, man, how's everything, boss?
Everything is good, man.
All right, what's going on?
And I want to thank you, man, for meeting me. Man of your word, met you the other night at Chuck Chill Out's birthday
Big up
party.
to my man Chuck Chill Out.
Asked you was by the bar, said, yo, Red, can I get a YouTube interview?
Yes.
You said, tell me where and tell me when.
Yes.
I told you here.
Uh-huh.
We set the date for yesterday.
Yes.
Then you remember, said, Sean, I can't do it yesterday, but we could do it Friday.
Right.
And you showed up, man.
Listen here, man. You supposed to follow through whatever you say you're going to pursue, that's it.
But I done had some people, Red, that say they gonna do something, they don't do it, man.
I can't speak for the next man, for the next lady, you know? I gotta speak for myself, man.
Right.
And I'm not being arrogant about it, I'm just being truthful about it, you know? I mean, we all understand that we deal with all different walks of life, but you gotta be true to yourself, and that's what matters.
Yeah. Hey, Red, man. Hip-hop pioneer, man.
Yes.
Broke many artists, introduced many artists to the planet.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And you know, I've been a fan since going back to junior high, man.
Respect on that.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Now, Red, I want to talk about you though, man.
What's going on?
Where you from?
Well, you know, I mean, I can go in so many different ways, you know. I was born in Antigua, West Indies.
Okay.
I came over here as a tot, being raised by my grandparents up in Harlem, you know.
Where in Harlem?
There's a project called Colonial Projects, which is now known as Ralph J. Wrangle Houses, right behind the Polo Grounds.
Okay.
I come from the same area as my man Biz Marquis. My man Jamal Mashburn used to play pro ball. I'm talking about my man Alan Payne, my man Cockroach, my man Bud. All of us come from that project. That's where I was born and raised. I mean, I was raised there. I was born in Antigua, but I was raised under my grandparents, and then also, you know, up and down Harlem, because, you know, my parents was down on 111th Street.
Okay. All New York City public schools?
Yes, indeed. You know, I went from public school. You know, a lot of people don't understand it. It was a school that was right next to the Rucker Park, PS 156, that became a men's shelter later on. The Rucker Park used to be my playground as a kid.
The rooftop was across the street.
And right across the street. And then also I went to the Dime that we used to call IS-10. I don't know, they got schools called intermediate anymore, but it was called IS-10. And I went there. From there, I went up in the Bronx to Dewitt Connecting High School.
Up in the Bronx?
Yes.
Okay. Red, how old are you, man?
I'll be 63 as of next month.
Okay.
It's a blessing.
Okay. Looking well.
Thank you.
Now, Red, let's talk about, we can't talk about nothing else but hip-hop, man.
Okay.
Your first introduction, the first time you heard it, and you see, yo, man, what is this, man? And you caught that bug, man. Can you speak a little bit on that?
Oh yeah, the first time I caught the bug, I came stepping into a Kool fair up in the Bronx. I, along with a host of my friends from the Colonial Projects, we went up there, and I wound up going all the way to the back, not knowing I was going to be right next to the DJ. So this tall, built brother, and you know, he was behind the system, and I saw how he was orchestrating the set, you know, having two turntables and, you know, everything all around him. and I was hearing the selection of music he was playing, and not only that, but I was seeing like the response and the vibe, how the crowd was taking to him. Now, before I went to him, I used to sneak downtown, down to the discos. I wasn't supposed to be down there at that time, you know, and that's when I used to go and see all the disco DJs, you know, respect to all of them. Some of them passed away. And I used to go to that like on after work Thursday and a Friday. But on a Saturday, after, you know, seeing Kool Herc for the first time, you know, right along with Kool Rock, I consider the first MC I see in my eyes for hip hop. I caught the bug from both sides, but hip hop is from Kool Herc.
Okay, now Red, let's deal with that, man. Let's deal with that. Is Kool Herc the father, the one who started hip hop, man?
In my eyes, I would consider that. You know why? Because you had to have like a base, like a headquarters, and Herc was bringing in a collector of everybody. He brought the b-boys coming to his thing. He brought the graffiti dancers coming to his thing. And you know, when you talk about hip hop, it's just a culture that can deal with all different spectrum, from the dancing, from the artwork, from just the vibe, the notion, the creativity, the swagger, how a person carry themselves. You know, because when you was going downtown to like the R&B, dance, disco spots, you had to be at a certain age, dress accordingly, you know, come at a certain type of, you know, attitude, you know, because you were stepping yourself up. But in going to a Kool Herc affair, which was basically up in the neighborhood in the Bronx, it's like you being as yourself. Now you had some people that may come dress up, they caught on the fly girls and the fly guys, but still in all, you can be as you want to be, you know, and just articulate and express yourself in your own way.
Now, Red, what year is this, man?
We're talking about mid-70s.
Okay, what was the Bronx like in the mid-70s? What was Harlem like in the mid-70s, man?
Let me tell you something. The Bronx in the mid-70s, when I started going up to Dewey Clinton High School, you know, that's when it was during the gang era. So imagine, I went to Dewey Clinton High School, it was all boys at that time. Imagine being in a high school that consists of 4,000 people and nothing but gangs in there. So I was in there, it was like, you know, you name them, they all was in there. Black Spades, Black Skulls. I mean, the Savage Nomads, the Javelins, the Seven Crown and more. I mean, I could say a list of them. So, you know, being amongst that, and then at the time, they was calling it the burnt down Bronx because,
right,
you know, there was a lot of tragedy going on, you know, a lot of condemned buildings and, you know, destruction going on. Down in my area in Harlem, it was the get money area, you know, where hustlers was going ahead doing their thing. You know, I'm not trying to say that everything was negative because you still have some upside on both Bronx and Harlem. But in order to go ahead and make it and survive, you had to find one way or the other. So I know in Harlem, either you go to spend time hustling, you go to spend time playing ball. Up in the Bronx, you go to spend time going to do either the or you go to try to get into that thing what Kool Herc is doing.
Now, Red, I'm gonna say somebody's name.
Okay.
Lovebug Starsky.
My man, rest in peace, Lovebug Starsky. That's a good brother right there. Miss him dearly. My man, you know, nobody couldn't duplicate him. Now, I mean, he was a one-man show. I used to see him do things that I never saw others doing at that time. And then you had people that emulate him afterwards, you know, that took it to another level. But Lovebug was that unique type of brother that knew how to entertain you, you know?
Now, Red, I interviewed L.A. Sunshine, and I read a little bit of his book.
Yes.
And I've you know, looked at some videos and, you know, just kind of talk research, and there's some confusion as to whether Lovebug Starsky coined the term hip hop, or DJ Hollywood coined the term hip hop, or who coined the term, who actually named this culture hip hop.
Well, you know, I say it gotta be somewhere between Lovebug Starsky and my man Keith Cowboy, rest in peace. Now, I wasn't there to actually see in the very beginning who gazed it off, but I know that I was hearing it majority of the time coming from them two, and they were so powerful with their presentation of bringing it. That's where you was, now, was it coming from Hollywood? Not that I know of. Not that I know. I wasn't going to Hollywood affairs. So I can't tell you, I wasn't going to his affairs. I mean, I was always aware of Hollywood, but I was always up in the Bronx. I always even saw Keep Cowboy when he was saying it, and my man Lovebug Starsky saying it.
Now I heard Lovebug Starsky on the radio before he passed, and rest in peace, Lovebug Starsky, man, salute to you. He was on the radio here in New York saying, man, emphatically and without denial that he was the one that coined the term hip-hop and let anybody say anything different to call him, you know? And
If that's what the man feel, no, let him be, you know? But I know for a fact that me coming up, I heard it from both Cowboy and him.
okay, now Red, when did you get involved with DJing and hip-hop? When did you get involved with the DJ side, man?
I got involved with the DJ sound because, you know, I used to be in this program while I was in high school. It was called the Upward Bound program. Upward Bound program is when you spend time during the summer while you in your junior and senior year in high school. You're spending time staying on campus, preparing yourself for college. And there was a couple programs in different universities. So I was staying on campus at Fordham University
While you're still in high school?
while I was still in high school.
Okay.
And then, you know, doing it, and then, you know, getting ready to go set off and go to college. During that time, while going to a Kool affair and being infatuated from what I was seeing, and my friend Roosevelt and I, what we did, we hooked up our stereo system together. And everybody should come in our room because, you know, he had a set, I had a set, so we like made it into one, and we hooked up both turntables to one system, to the receiver. And then people say, yo, we should do a party, So we decided to do it in the lunchroom. And by me watching and trying it out, and then coming home and start, after what I see, take time and practice. I never had nobody taught me. I went by watching what they play, how they play, such and such. I didn't have the proper equipment like them, but I had an idea of what is it to do. So that's what I did, and let it build from there.
Now, Red, how did you your first radio gig? Talk about that, man.
Well, let me tell you, first and foremost, respect to Almighty Universal Zulu Nation. That's where I came up under that, along with my cousin DJ Jazzy J. You know, everybody under affiliation Africa Bambaataa. You know, here it is that we was down at the place called the Rock Scene, 82. So when we was down in the Rock Scene from 82 to 83, you know, here it is that the program director of 98.7 Kiss FM came down, and first person they went after was Africa Islam. Africa Islam couldn't make it to the appointment. So the next person they went after was my cousin, original DJ Jazzy J. Jazzy did for like a couple months being on the radio, but you know, he didn't feel like, you know, it wasn't worth it because they wasn't paying, and plus he was on the road with the Soul Sonic Force when Planet Rock came out. So, no, even after Planet Rock, a couple more hits after that, from 82 to 83.
Is he the one that scratches on Tila Rocks? That is yours?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
The original DJ Jazzy J. That's
Yeah.
my cousin. So, here it is. They went after, they asked who the next guy, so that's when they between the camp, Zulu Nation, and a couple of affiliates in different record companies that knew who I was under affiliation, spoke up for me. And that's when they came to me and asked me that I want to get on. That was in October of 1983. And I was on for the first 3 months. Wasn't getting a dime.
Free.
Yeah. But I was getting exposure.
You was getting exposure.
Well, I'm getting exposure. What you do? You wind up getting gigs. You wind up getting, you know, studio work. You
meet people. You meet people.
You're networking, you know? And that's what it was. So even by the time I got to the top of 1984, it was Chico Bucks, but I used the radio station as my office space for outside work. So that's what I did. The groundwork, you know, you're always using that shovel.
Now, Red, your tapes, your master mix show from 9 to 12, you was on Saturday, right?
Yes, and even before that, I used to be on 11 to 2 in the morning.
On Kiss?
On Kiss. They used to have me on every other week because one weekend would be, one Saturday would be Tony Humphrey, respecting Tony Humphrey, and then the next week would be me. And then after they moved Tony Humphrey to other different days. The next set that came in was the Latin Rascals. After that, then Latin Rascals move on, then here come Chuck Chill Out. So now they alternate us back and forth on Saturdays from 11 to 2 in the morning. And then that's when they decided to bring us down to more prime time, 9 to 12. And that's when Chuck took Fridays and I took Saturdays.
Now, Red, let's talk about somebody, man. Let's talk about Mr. Magic, man, and how
Super Rockin' Mr. Magic.
Super Rockin' Man. How important was he in this whole hip hop thing, man?
He was the door opener as far as being on radio. You know, Super Rockin' Mr. Magic. You know, I remember the first time I started hearing him was on an independent station, WHBI 105.9. That was an independent radio station where you had to buy airtime to be on. He used to be on like 2 in the morning on the Saturday to Sunday morning. And he had so much a gauge to the tri-state area that everybody followed him, the youth. That's when WBLS went and picked him up and brought him to primetime radio. So after they picked him up, that's where 98.7 Kiss FM took it upon themselves to start having interest to having hip hop involved with what they do, because they always had their thing called the Kiss Master Mixes. They implemented using what we was doing along with what they was doing. Because during the time the Kiss Master Mixes consist of Shep Pettibone, Tony Humphrey, various other names, you know. So they wanted to capture that audience. And that's when they brought, you know, like I said, first Jazzy, then me, and the rest.
Red, now these master mixes, these DJ shows you used to do on Saturday night.
Yes.
Chuck Chill Out, Mr. Magic. These cassette tapes, man, were legendary, man. When I used to go down south, before I could get out the car, no, before we would leave to get in the car, make sure you record, red alert, this set, and bring me a tape with you. What's the craziest story you heard about a tape you made or a show you did, just like a crazy story where that tape ended up?
Well, I got several of them. Peace, man. How you? I have several of them. I'll never forget when I had people used to come to me nice and bold and say, yo, man, I make money off of you. How you make money off of me? I take you off the radio. I go the way to school. People want to take a copy. I make copies. I sell for like $5, $10. I'm like, oh, they're hustling off of me. But not knowing that they help promoting me. Because after a while, when everybody start getting these tapes in these schools, or either they go on the way to, you know, they go in the family, or they in the service. Overseas, I'm getting calls for gigs. So if I'm doing homecomings for colleges, if I'm DJing at Fort Bragg down in North Carolina.
At a military base?
At a military base.
You DJed at a military base?
A couple of them.
Where, Red?
The Fort Bragg is one. And then the one, I forgot the name, in South Carolina. And then Fort McPherson, that was down in Atlanta, Georgia, you know. And there was a base, a Navy base that was out there in San Diego. I forgot the name of that. But them tapes travel, so by people taking these tapes and whatever they was doing, duping them, passing them on, or making money, instead of me spending money to promote myself, I'm allowing them to make money off of me, so they promoting me, and I'm getting, once again, it's the, go right back to the same thing like I say. I DJ for 3 months free on the radio where I started getting gigs.
Right.
I went through the same notion in a different manner. That's all what it is.
Sometimes you
gotta start somewhere, and you got, so it's all about paying your dues. You never stop paying your dues. So I pay my dues for them 3 months free on radio. I pay my dues in a sense by people making money off of me, and what I get in return, gigs. So that's what I can say. I'll never forget the first time I went overseas in '85.
Where?
In London, England. I could tell you, it was Africa Bambaataa. It was my man Ike C, Lisa Lee, we all Zoom members, a couple of break dancers, and my man Brim, who was a graffiti artist. When we walk in the streets, people is running up on us and find out who we are and ask for an autograph. So I said, damn, how do they know about us? They said pirate radio. What is pirate radio? I learned that pirate radio where they used to go ahead and take ham radios and illegally put it and program it for people to hear it in radius blocks. I don't know how they did that. It's been going on for a long time, pirate radio. Whatever tapes they got, they'll take the tapes and program it along with the radio they program it, and everybody get to hear them. So
Some of your tapes.
some of my tapes, you know, and they was moving around. So, you know, tapes, let me tell you something. The cassette tapes was our internet at that time. That's the best way I can put it to you.
Now, Red, check it out, man. You talked about, in the beginning of the interview, you talked about the hip-hop culture, the graffiti, the breakdancing, the style of dress,
Yes,
the attitude, the
Yes.
swagger, the mindset, the rebelliousness of the culture.
yes.
I'm 50 years old, man.
Uh-huh.
I don't see that no more, man. And I think sometimes I long for that, to see that reemergence of that, but I don't think it's coming back, man. So it's like how hip hop evolved from what it was, from what you know it was, to what it is now. If hip hop is even here. I mean, man, it just ain't the same, man, than what it used to be, man.
Well, you know, let's face it, man. Besides just hip-hop culture alone, anything that takes place in life never gonna stay the same. Life is not the same. The way how you was going 20, 30 years ago, do you see yourself doing the same thing like you was 20, 30 years ago? No. Time moves on.
Right, but Red,
No, listen what I'm
All right,
saying.
all right.
I'm breaking it down to you. Do you see people is at a payphone now? No. Communication has changed. The culture, different cultures have changed. Even in sports, you see things have changed. So now in hip hop culture, it all started when record companies start seeing what was going on in the musical form. They went after it. So that's the first piece of the culture they took. They wasn't paying attention much to the breakdancing and the graffiti and the style. Later on, they has. So you start seeing some breakdancing taking place in some of these movies. You start seeing it taking place in other different features, in plays. You start seeing fashion being portrayed by different urban wears. You know, I'm just breaking it down to you. People will strip whatever they see and take it and break it down, rebuild it, repackage it, and present it in their own way, in their own manner. It's a business for them.
But Red, the shit was flyer back then, man. It was better back then in the 80s, man. It was
Things will
better, man.
never be the same.
I miss that shit, man.
All you can say, you can enhance it and enjoy, embrace of what it used to be. That's what it is. Remember, when the culture of hip-hop first came in, our elders was like, what's this nonsense y'all doing? What's this? What is this? I don't know what this is. That wasn't music to them. They thought it was nonsense. But we know what it was to us. Within years later, here it is. Things had changed where it came in of a different generation hands. Rock and roll, when it first started. Rock and roll was way different in the past compared to what it came later on. So it's the same thing. R&B, when it was from the doo-wop to rhythm and blues, to later on, here come New Jack Swing, Neo Soul. I mean, things change.
Now, Red, check it out. My subscribers, man, we talk a lot on my channel about the mental game, the mental motivation, fighting through adversity, having setbacks and reverses in your life and in your career, and bouncing back and still achieving your goals. Could you think of, was there anything in your career, man, that kind of knocked you flat on your ass and you had to get up and dust yourself off and reinvent yourself and make a comeback, man?
Yeah, because I went through a crossroad, and you know what, I'm glad I did went through that crossroad because, you know, it's like, it shook you up. It make you realize that, you know, you got to adapt. You know, and that's why I brought up these things just a minute ago. You have to learn to adapt. Now, I remember during the times in my crossover car, I was staying down south in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm on the outside from the tri-state area looking in what I was around and what was taking place. So when I came back up here, I reinvent myself, reintroduce myself, still adapt for where I come from, knowing for what's going on. In order for me to continue being where I'm at. Part of life. If I can go ahead and give you Rakim and the J. Cole in the same room, that means I learned how to sandwich what is taking place. I'm just using that as an example of the errors. That's it.
Red, how important is it to maintain a positive attitude in the business you in, man, and you know, being aggressive and making shit happen for yourself, man?
It's all about your inner self. I know there's many a times.
Tell them, Red.
Your inner self consists of, I know many a times you can let a lot of things get to us, frustrate us, but it can also throw you off track, and just the reason you're there in the beginning. Nothing's gonna be perfect. Everything's not gonna come your way. Half the stuff you don't ask for, and when it happens, it's gonna be one or the other. You're gonna learn to be strong, to deal with it, or be weak and break down. That's the best way I could put it.
Red, I got some subscribers that are getting into the music game. They write rhymes. They're 15, 16, 18, 19 years old, 20. Anything you could give them, man, to tell them to keep, you know, to get in the game, to keep pushing?
I understand you want to get in it because you love what it is, wherever you feel you want to be. As a DJ, as a artist, as a producer, or anything per se. Go ahead, master that craft, but acknowledge what the business structure is, because it's a music business, it's an entertainment business. You know, I had to learn. Everybody else can learn. That's all what it is. And you learn how to juggle both, the creativity and the business, and you juggle it right and master it, you become a beast.
Red, last question, I'm gonna cut you loose. Everybody sound like everybody dressing like everybody, people afraid to show their own unique self. Could you talk a little bit about the uniqueness of being your own unique self?
There's nothing wrong to give it a try. Don't do what everybody else do to fit in. Try to see how, number one, feel true to yourself and honest to yourself to present out. Now, if it don't work, then you try something else. But you just don't give in what everybody else is doing, because no matter whatever you have seen, it had to start from somewhere. Why it can't start right with you in the beginning? That's it.
My man. Hey, Red, man, you want to give all your social media, your Instagram, Facebook, all that?
Here it is, at Kool DJ Red Alert. That's Kool with a K for all the social media. Respect everybody for spending time listening to me throughout the years, or even you just heard me for the first time. You know, a lot of people call me Red, Uncle Red. I had so many different names. I had
Prop Master.
I had the Bum, the Coolest Legend. I mean, I'm just honored I still do what I do.
Yeah. Hey, Red, do me a favor, man. Tell the people, say, yo, fuck with Sean's YouTube channel, man.
Say it again.
Say, fuck with Sean's YouTube channel.
Yo, check this out, everybody. It's the Coolest Legend, the Kool, the DJ Red Alert. Fuck with Sean's YouTube channel. Fuck with him. It's to YouTube, everybody.
DJ Red Alert. Peace out, kid.
Yeah.
All right.